To start off this Pecha Kucha, I will be telling you the definition of peer pressure, which is social pressure by members of one's peer group to take a certain action, adopt certain values, or otherwise conform in order to be accepted. Peer pressure is something that everyone goes through at times in their lives. A situation where you may feel peer pressure is if you are at a party and everyone around you is drinking. They may say, "Oh, you should drink, come on, do it." This is when you feel pressured to drink because your friends are telling you to and you want to blend in with your friends. You may feel that you will lose these friends if you say no and will feel lame. Saying no is not lame. You are yourself and no friend should tell you what to do. They are not your real friends if they pressure you into doing things you don't want to do. If they don't like when you say no to things, then you shouldn't be friends with them in the first place. It's that easy to just say no and walk away. To fix peer pressure around you, you can start by trying not to judge others. Respect other people's decisions and they will respect your choices too. You should make sure to take action against bad peer pressures and also stand up for others whom you may see being pressured also. Another good idea for staying away from peer pressure is by finding a group of friends that like you for you. These friends should be people who are good at resisting peer pressure. Being around people who are good at saying no can get you in the habit of saying no to bad things also. It's better to be around people who you can be yourself around and not get into trouble. For parents, you can also help to make sure your kids can get out of peer pressure. Make sure to tell them that if they are ever in any uncomfortable situations, you will always be able to drive there and pick them up. Make sure your child gains self-confidence so they feel good about themselves and are less likely to be pressured by others. Here are some facts that have to do with students and peer pressure. 60% of teens who abuse prescription drugs get them from friends and relatives. In 2014, by the 8th grade, 28% of students had consumed alcohol, 15% have smoked cigarettes, and 16.5% used marijuana. Now are some facts on drugs alone. Teens who are always learning about the dangers of drugs are 50% less likely to use them. More than 60% of teens reported that some kind of drugs are sold, kept, or used at their school. 28% of students knew at least one person who has tried ecstasy. Next are facts on teens with alcohol. Alcohol is the leading factor for the top 3 reasons for death in 15 to 24-year-olds. 11% of all alcohol consumed in the U.S. is from underage drinkers. 71% of seniors in high school have consumed alcohol. You may be wondering what all of the dangers are of drugs and alcohol for teens. Well, since teens are young and still growing, they can have shorter limbs, delayed puberty, cause liver damage, etc. to teens' bodies. Teens can also get into drunk driving, accidents, have unplanned pregnancies, and have criminal records for a lifetime. A good example of peer pressure in a movie is Mean Girls. In this story, Katie, who used to be homeschooled, goes into the popular group of girls when she starts high school. She wants to get back at them for something they did, so she joins the group but gets sucked in and misses her friend's art show. In this movie, the Plastics, which is the group she joins, forces her to write things about her friends in what is called the burn book. In this book, they write bad things about others that is very rude. She was pressured into writing these things and should have just said no and left the group. Katie faced karma when the book got read publicly to the school and everyone at the school blamed Katie for the book. Katie lost her friends and boyfriend due to this, and this is what helped her to realize what she had done wrong. Katie finally makes the right decisions of apologizing to her friends and going back to her old group of friends that did not pressure her into things. Something that proves that peer pressure can even kill you if you choose to say yes is Elizabeth Wackelich. Elizabeth was only 16 when someone bet her to drink a quart of 107 proof Goldschlager. She didn't want her friends to judge her for saying no, so she drank it. She went to sleep at a friend's house and later on was found unresponsive. They called 911, but when she was at the hospital, she was pronounced dead. Saying no is not always as easy as you think it will be. When you are pronouncing it, make sure to say it firmly and in a way that the people around you know that you are serious. This way, they will take you seriously and not ask anymore. If they do, then make sure to leave wherever you are or just walk away. If you are continuing to feel peer pressure and are having trouble getting away from it, I suggest talking to your parents, teacher, counselor, or anyone you are comfortable talking with that can give you good advice. Always remember that it gets better and others are going through this too. Something I have not mentioned yet is what is called digital peer pressure. A recent survey has said that 75% of teens say that seeing pictures of others with alcohol or drugs makes them feel like they should do so also. Even at home, people can message or comment things such as, "Come on, why not?" causing teens to be pressured and not knowing how to respond. Try to avoid going to parties that you know may have drugs or alcohol so you will not even be pressured at all. There can also be smaller things involved in peer pressure, such as someone asking you to ride a roller coaster or go somewhere you find frightening. You are not obligated to go to that place or do that certain thing if you do not want to. Try being the one in the group that makes the plans for a chance. If your friends do not want to do that thing, don't make them do it. Just find something that you all agree is fun, yet not going to be something that gets you into trouble. A couple suggestions are hanging out at someone's house, going bowling, or even watching a movie. I hope this Pecha Kucha can help you to say no when needed against peer pressure. Remember, there are always people you can talk to. Always make friends with people who like you for you and are good at saying no too. You can also come back to this video whenever you need to get your mind back in the right state.